it has gone to a situation where that I do believe and I do think that Miami will fix everything and get it right. Um, what I do want to say is this, and I do believe I have some guests on here. I want to say is I think Mike McDonald, I think, Stephen A, as I said, was wrong in what he said about Chris Greer and what he said about Mike McDaniel. And with my guests that's on here, what is y'all input on that? And what is y'all input on the fact that Stephen A, again, put his foot in his mouth?
He always putting his foot in. That's
he
what
said,
I thought.
she said he always put his foot in his mouth, huh?
Yeah, I
Well,
love Stephen A. He say what's
uh,
on his mind, and that's his opinion.
right.
We all got our own opinion.
But my thing on that is this: you saying that he's saying that basically the reason why this man got fired was because he was black, but they wind up keeping the white guy. Last I checked, Mike McDonald is not white; he's black.
Okay, you can say it.
So you made a comment that wasn't accurate. And that's what I'm trying to figure out. What is it that is giving me that is giving him a pass and saying, "Oh yeah, you get a pass because of this or because of that." I'm not giving him that pass.
Hey, this your radio.
I hear you.
I'm coming late. Are we on McDonald's for the Dolphins?
Yes.
Okay. Um, Scapegoat, because everybody knows the Dolphins are not good this year for whatever reason. Tua and the coaching staff are not on the same page. And ever since the owner dealing with the previous coach, they've had internal and it's stemming on the racial barriers. Because you got to go back and look at everything that transcended from, I think, 2023 to the present. And Miami is just not that organization anymore. So pick up from there, Mr. Regular Guy.
Well, I'm looking at it like this, okay? You can't throw race up in there when you have an African American guy that is also you got two African American guys. So my thing that I'm trying to figure out on this is Mike McDaniel is black. Chris Greer is black. The comment that he made to me was wrong. You said something and said that Mike McDonald is a scapegoat. Who is he a scapegoat? That's what I'm trying to figure out. How is he the scapegoat? He's not the one that is building this team. He's not the one that went out there and got Tyreek Hill. He isn't the one that should have told Tua, look, you need to just sit back and chill, enjoy your money, and go from there. He ain't the one that's making them decisions. It was Chris Greer. So if Chris Greer is making them decisions, Chris Greer got fired. And that's what should have happened.
It's easier to release a coach than it is a player. If you look at the history of the guys that have been released in the coaching field and those organizations, they're not on the same page. Somebody's got to be the fall guy. And because everybody's been hopping on Miami and the disorganization that they're in, where other organizations have gone and got a player or two, a coach or two to help build. Look at the Detroit Lions. Look at Tampa Bay. Look at what San Francisco did a couple of years back. Look at what the and the situation in Washington would happen. So when the organization is going down, even with my Raiders with John Gruden, it always stems to a heavy misunderstanding of what versus what's said. I heard you mention Stephen A. For those of you on not picking up on what's going on with Stephen A., first I'm going to say this. He's a New Yorker. New Yorkers are loud and boisterous. He's just he's the younger version that's headed in the same direction that Trump has with words and constantly speaking about he's grown and look at me. I'm running this show. So his opinion is his opinion, but you got to look at where he's rising up. He's now touching in on the political power society, and that's not good, but it's also informative. Look for the Dolphins and that organization probably after their break or midway through this season. There has to be a big shakeup and change. And I heard something earlier this week about Tua, knowing that he's coming from Hawaii. There's something there that is not coming out. So there's a lot of underground information that is being displayed that we are not privy to. So that's why I said it's an organizational issue.
Well, from what I'm hearing, they're keeping the head coach for the rest of the year. Okay, so that tells me that Stephen Ross, who owns the Dolphins,
That's why they
didn't like
coaching
the
him,
personnel direction
not the.
that everything was going that in the way that Miami was doing things. And I think that personnel direction is why Greer got fired. Because my thing is this, okay. On that note, to me, Greer went and got Tyreek Hill. Greer went and brought in a lot of the people that he had brought in. And I'm looking at what does Mike McDonald do? Why did the comment came out Mike McDonald should have got fired? And to me, he's not the one that made the personnel decisions. It was somebody else.
Like Mike, go back a few years with Belichick. After Brady left, New England dropped. They went down. But Belichick didn't get fired because he had already worked out an agreement to take some of his coaching staffs and give them coaching opportunities. Those guys failed. They didn't achieve any more than he did. And now, if you look at Belichick, is now being shown on television with North Carolina. The man is not successful, so therefore you erase him. You move him out of the sports field. Don't gravitate to him. Miami, the whole coaching staff needs to be revitalized because they're going down. That organization used to be one of the best organized organizations there. And it's just sad to see them, like my Raiders, teams that used to hold the NFL to the highest standards among coaching staff and opportunity, that they are not achieving that. So blame one or another, but it's just been a traditional thing. The owner fires the coach, they get a new coach in. They, like I said, midway through the season, you can look that up in any sport. Coaches go first, coaching staff second, and they'll come in and they get an intern coach to finish out the season. Then they hire a new person who get his staff in. So,
In this case, they didn't fire the coach. They fired the GM.
well, he's part of the organization.
Right.
Management, all of them go.
But what Stephen A was saying is by the GM getting fired, who's an African American GM, they saved the white man, which he was talking about Mike McDonald. Mike McDonald's an African American coach as well. He didn't save nothing. Miami said, let's get rid of this man. Let's see what moves we can make. To me, Miami just needs to basically, and it's not on the coaching side, it's on the player side. They need to go ahead and get rid of what they have, get draft picks, and start over.
That's what I'm saying. Clean house.
Okay. But you also got to bring in a competent, or I ain't gonna say competent, you're gonna bring in a GM that knows what he's doing and knows not to go after every diamond in the rough. By him going after Tyreek Hill, and then the other thing, the decisions he should have made, which to me he didn't, as a GM, is told to it, look, you're concussion prone. You had too many concussions. You're going to kill yourself out here. So why don't you just go ahead, take some time off, step off, do what needs to be done, uh, and then go from there. So I'm
Do,
like,
do you remember Tebow in Denver?
yeah,
All right, Tebow, he came out of the box. He's an average quarterback, but he kind of began the religious Christianity movement into the NFL. So he wasn't that top quarterback, but they kept him for a few games until they got, I can't remember who they replaced him with. I don't know if that was when Peyton came there, because they had to calm the waters down because it was
right.
getting a little heated back 5, 10 years, I don't know, about 10 years ago, just to give a time frame. Here, like I say, I came in on your initial statement of what's going on with Stephen A. and McDonald, but the bottom line from what you're saying and what has been talked about on air, an organization has to clean house or else they're going to completely go down. The move to get Tyreek Hill was to keep tickets flowing because the owner, and I can't think of the coach's name, that
Go
was there,
on.
the intent of losing every game so they could get a draft pick. All of that stems back to the owner, the general manager, the scouting guy,
I hear
all of
you.
them to clean house and get somebody competent, stop just trying to make money, which is
Good
what we talk
afternoon. Can you hear me
about.
now?
Yeah, I can hear you. So, hey, Will.
Okay.
So my thing is this, okay, and this is what we're talking about. And William, I'm
I'm
glad
listening.
he joined the conversation. What do you feel about what I was saying about the Mike McDonald? Well, about the comments that Stephen A. made about Chris Greer.
Uh, it was out of line. I will agree with that,
Thank you.
but I will agree with what I don't agree with is the firing of just one. Say both people at the same time. If they're just gonna fire one, they should have fired both of them. But if you want to go back, they should maybe he shouldn't be fired. If I can make that argument there, because how can a coach be successful if he only has a certain amount of years? Now, if you go back to the old school coaches were able to stay and build up their team how they want it to be built up to. I know we live in a different time and era, but what's wrong with that?
They're not
Just
making any money. See, the new owners, the younger owners, and these players, everybody wants individual success. They are looking out for themselves as opposed to an organization and what the team concept really means. That's why when you constantly speak, Will, of this, we're in a new era, it's just a different ball game. Even
yeah,
though I'm an older gentleman, but I understand the schematics of the league and any sport. It's changed where I'm not even comfortable watching because I'm beginning to see things that aren't clicking the way the script is replayed.
Yeah, but again, I still don't like the comments that was made. He shouldn't have made it. He was out of line. But
Well, it's
but
made. A lot
but
of
but,
things are done out of line.
but you gotta understand the comments. I mean, he talked out of emotion, and that's the sad part. He was too emotional when he said what he had to say and say thinking about it in his whole and saying both of them should have been fired instead of one. He shouldn't have made it a racial issue. I will agree with that, but he felt how he felt. And a lot of times Stephen A can be corrected.
yeah, that's true. And until he comes out and say, hey, I was wrong. I shouldn't have made a comment. You calling Mike McDonald white is crazy. That's like calling Russell Wilson white. They both biracial.
Um, well, he didn't see color,
Yes, he
but I,
did. Yes,
but
he
I
did.
expect,
He seen it
but
when
I,
he said the black man got fired and the white man got saved. Yes, he did.
let me ask you a question. If you walking down the street and you see Mike McDonald, what you gonna look at him as?
White.
What? Okay,
You gonna
okay,
look at him. You gonna look at him
which,
as white. But if
okay,
you know him, his
But
back like Russell Wilson. If you see Russell Wilson, what you going to think?
biracial.
yeah,
Thank you. Right. But you
well,
also know that Mike McDonald, and it's been said he's one of the African American coaches of what is it, like 9 or 10 African American coaches in the league. So
He's
come on now. That's been
Miami.
said.
He's in Miami.
Yeah.
Miami is pretty much Puerto Rican, Hispanic. So his culture is pretty much there. So they need somebody just like the Miami Heat coach. He's gonna always be there until he gets too old to coach anymore. But
yeah.
so you got to look at the culture of where your team is
Take care
around,
now.
and who's your season ticket holder, your fan base.
I'm not going to look at the season ticket holders. I'm looking at the comments that was made, and to me, everything should have, it shouldn't have been made. But I'm gonna move on from that. I'm gonna I'm gonna get into the week 8 games, a lot of the performances that was done, games that was won, games that was lost, games that shouldn't have been games that shouldn't have been lost, and then certain calls that was made that to me shouldn't have been made.
Seattle Sea.
What is y'all? First, I'm gonna start with y'all on y'all week 8 games and everything else. How did y'all feel how some of the games went, and what's your comments on some of them? Before I
Be
get into
more
mine,
represent. Be more represented for Thursday night.
well,
Um,
that's week 9. Y'all was off in week 8.
week 8. Nah, I'm
Yeah,
sorry,
yeah,
wrong
we're
week. We
talking week
didn't.
8.
Um, I don't know. Week 8 is. I don't remember week 8 because that's just in the past. I was focused on week 9. Um, um, the
That
games
was
were the games.
where
I'm gonna say this. When it comes to a lot of the games that was played in week 8, a lot of it was surprising. I think probably one of the best ones to me was that Denver New York game. I think New York was holding their heads up high, said we got this, and then Bo Nix just drove them down and did the Bo Nix thing, and basically came back and won
You
that
talking
game.
about the Jets and the Bengals?
No, I'm talking about the Giants and the Broncos, and the Jets and the Bengals was good too. That that
Uh,
that that I congratulate Aaron Glenn on getting his first win. That was
that's the game
good
of
for
the
him.
year.
I think that's the game of the year too. That was a good game. That
you
was
want,
that
to know
that
why
was
the
one of
Jets.
the best games out there.
You want to know why the Jets won that game?
Mercy,
When I can't think of the young player's name that passed away from liver cancer.
Mango.
Yeah.
It
When that information came out that morning, we should have known right away the Jets were going to win. The city is already down. The state is down. Well, not the city, but the state. When you got a player and you got a team that hasn't won a game, you have to uplift them. That was a game and a moment that just changed that whole Sunday lineup for betting. Because when I heard it, I told my wife, I said, the Jets going to win this game. She said, they haven't even played yet. I said, watch, they're going to win. It turned out to be one of the better close games because either team could have won either night. But it was imperative that the Jets win to city up the spirits of the players. Because if you notice, anytime a player passes on a team or they change head coaches and the new coach come in, the team is on an uprise and the players will play. And they might get 1 or 2 games of winning. So we have to see how the Jets do
this week.
this week and the rest of their games.
Who they play this week?
Oh, where are my cheat sheets?
The Jets play. If I'm correct, I think this is their bye week.
This is their bye week.
Yeah, this is their bye week. So they
And
went
they
into
got
the bye. They went into the bye with a victory.
um, don't they play us next? No, the week after next.
I think they play y'all the week after next.
Oh,
I
I guess
You know
that's
that
another
good.
lose. That's another game lost.
hey, you never know. You never know. They may take that momentum, especially given these 10 days off. They may take that momentum into Baltimore and then wake y'all back up and bring y'all to
You know,
reality and let y'all know y'all played Miami, who, and I told you this, Will, Miami, what they did to the Falcons last week 8 was crazy. You know, they go into Atlanta and they mollywop them. I mean, they beat them 31-3, and then all of a sudden you play Baltimore and Baltimore just treats you like a redheaded stepchild.
yeah, they came up against a juggernaut.
I ain't gonna say that. Y'all ain't a juggernaut. I ain't gonna say all that. I ain't giving y'all that yet. Y'all still got a lot to prove, especially on this run, and I want to see how this run pans out. I think the other game that I want to talk about, and I think the blueprint is out on this game if you don't play them in Arrowhead, and that's the Chiefs. I think the first half showed how you beat the Chiefs. Second half showed if you make mistakes, how the Chiefs beat you, and that's what happened. So I think that that was something that was very interesting. I'm gonna tell you another game. I'm gonna say the Cowboys and the Broncos. The Broncos, man, I don't know what Sean Payton is doing there, but he has got these guys on the roll. He had got this team playing some good ball. And to me, I think they're going to be one of the scariest teams in the AFC when it comes playoff time. What you
They're
think
number
about
two.
that?
They're number two defense, aren't they?
Yeah, they're the number two defense, and I think the number one ranked offense.
I'm telling you, this is a curve in all of this. If you notice, the Winter Olympics are in the top round. So it's only imperative that Denver becomes a winning team to bring in tourism and to bring revenue to the state. So that's all I'm gonna say on that.
Uh, I don't know. I just think Denver. I think Denver found their diamond in the rough when they went and they drafted Bo Nix. Bo Nix could have went anywhere else, but he went to them.
That's all.
And you know, so and I like what the 49ers is doing, especially they're showing that. And like I was telling Will, I said Matt Jones is in a situation now where only he can give that starting job up. I do think that they probably looked at the fact that they made a mistake with Brock Purdy and gave Brock Purdy all that money when you got Mac Jones who's playing lights out, just like Indiana Jones is in Indy. Um, and with the coach possibly going to be what 8-1 this week is going to be
Against the
very.
Steelers.
It is possible that they can go 8-1 against the Steelers,
I
and
think
that'll put the Steelers what a half a game
four and
up on.
four.
Yeah, and that'll put them a half a game up on everybody in the league. I mean, in the division. But I'm still not sleeping on Cincinnati.
I have a question to the staff, to the regular guy.
Okay.
You spoke about Purdy and said, let me ask you this: what makes Purdy one of the highest paid quarterbacks? And as we've said through the years and has been discussed on the programs, you have it and mainly against Lamar because you always bring it up about Lamar. And Will, you got to defend this. Purdy
Okay.
has Super Bowl.
Right.
Mac Jones has not been to a Super Bowl.
Right.
None of these top white boys that have these all of a sudden these great quarterbacks coming out the box been to a Super Bowl. Only one I can see is Burrow.
Right.
Everybody else is just they're average.
Average.
They're having a good season. If you get the right coaching staff, you get the right receivers that run their routes like they're supposed to, you're gonna look good. And then if you're playing a lane defense and you're not rushing and you're calling a setup that allows the quarterback to look good, that's what you get. So I'm just
Okay.
saying,
Okay. I'm gonna answer all three of them because you already answered them. You answered your own question. The first one is this. Brock Purdy went to the Super Bowl. Lamar has not been to a Super Bowl.
it's
So
all
Joey B, hold on, and Will, me and you done had this conversation. Joey B has went to a Super Bowl. Lamar has not went to a Super Bowl. Brock Purdy has had receivers to throw to, Brandon Ayuk, Debo, and everybody else. So, and Joe Burrow has had receivers. Lamar has not had receivers. Now, okay, the other one is coaching staff. Let's get into the coaching staff. You got Zach Taylor, who's a heck of a coach, who's a heck of an offensive minded coach. You got Mike Shanahan, who's a great offensive minded coach, who's a quarterback whisperer. Okay,
but he
you
shanked the
got
Super Bowl in Atlanta.
well, he shanked the Super Bowl in Atlanta because he knew that he was getting a head coaching job and
Well, what's
the
the
49ers, which we talked about that
uh,
the same way that Aaron Glenn and Ben Johnson did the same thing in Chicago, in Denver, because I mean with Detroit, because they knew that they was getting head coaching jobs somewhere else. Every coach that know that they're going to get a head coaching job does that. They shank it. They do that. They do that on purpose. So we already know about that. Now, the third part of his question, he answered again. Coaching. You got different coaches. Harbaugh is not a good coach. Harbaugh is not a good offensive coach. He's not a good defensive coach. He's not a good head coach. Okay? He doesn't take accountability. He doesn't take blame for his faults. So on that, that is why Brock Purdy and why Joey B been to the Super Bowl and Lamar has not.
because of the coaches.
Because of the coaching, because of the personnel that's around him, and because of the
Well,
fact. Go ahead.
I, I'll defend the personnel part of it. I think the personnel was good enough to get to the Super Bowl for Baltimore. I just think the coaching decision hindered them from getting there because there's always been a couple of questionable calls, questionable decisions that's been made by Harbaugh. But other than that, he would have gotten there. He would have gotten to three of them. Now the only difference was um, 25 versus '06 is you had one, two, three, four strong leaders in that locker room. Should I name the leaders?
We already know the leaders, but
So
what does that have to do with the production on the field and the coaching on the field?
because you had that strong personality in the locker room that he was not going to interfere with. But then you got to remember, before there was a Hardball, there was a Lewis, there was a Reed, there was a Sudds, there was a all those guys there, and they all had the ear of the GM and Ozzie. So think about it. Harbaugh was not going to buck the trend with Ozzie in control and Bashotti and the Modell that was there. So once Ozzie stepped down, Ray retired, Reed left, Suggs left, there was no real leader in the locker room except for him. So all the guys that were there, they were going to be recycled anyway. So the ones that's going to come in, they're going to have to follow his leadership, his everything that he's saying. Because if they didn't, there's going to be repercussions and consequences that's going to be paid with being cut or being benched or something. That's my 2 cents.
So you're telling me that Harbaugh is not putting his in. It's been documented and it's been said. Is not putting his ego before the team. Thank you.
If I have a contract that guarantees me 20 years to coach a team, and I can pick and choose what particular season or time frame that I want to escalate or de-escalate my team, because my owner and maybe my scout and my general manager, if all four of us are not on the same page, or some one of the two, I'm outnumbered, now they see something different. Yes, I'm gonna lay low until we get the group of guys we need to come in and rebuild without falling. Take a look at what Dallas has done. Take a look at how my Raiders. You have, like I say,
Messiah.
organizations and the
Give me,
personality, alpha and
give
male,
me
and
the
all of
water,
that.
please. Come here.
If guys
Give me
don't
the
want to
water.
play, they're not gonna play. They're not gonna
Give
put
me
up.
the
And you got a long season
Take it.
until a change is made. Your
Mhm.
best example, once again, is going back to the Dolphins
I
and the
that's
organization of the Jets.
that's one I can't go with because Harbaugh. It's been said plenty of times that his ego is the reason why he's losing coaches. Okay, his ego is bigger than the team.
The same
Your
can be
your
said about
your
Belichick.
your your general manager and you are, I'm not going to even say next door neighbors. Y'all gates attach. So when y'all out there cutting grass and all of that, y'all talking off camera, or y'all talking, as they say, off the mic. Okay.
Hey,
And so to me, it's one of them where Harbaugh is like, oh well, it is what it is. I ain't going nowhere. I don't care. I got my boy Eric DaCosta here.
that
Me,
that's
me,
yeah.
me, 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 and Ozzy done had riff. Ozzy's gone. I got my man right here, so I can do what I want. Okay. I don't want Lamar to succeed. I ain't gonna let him. I don't care.
Yeah. So, hey, Collins, did you know they do astrology in the locker room in the whole building?
Yes, I always.
Yeah, and that's another thing. You do astrology to pick your players. What kind of GM is that? Oh, so because this person is Leo, I'm not gonna put him on my team. But this person here, he's a Sagittarius. He's perfect. But that Leo can take you to the Super Bowl, and that Sagittarius can't. So and that's what I'm talking about. When you're doing something like that, and you're running away from talent, you're running away from the talent that's out there on both free agency and the draft. To me, that speaks volumes of not just ownership, but also your GM, your coach. If you're used to mediocrity, that's what we're going to do. If you're used to us going to the playoffs and becoming a doormat and being a doormat for every team, then that's what we are. And I can't see that. I can't see why they let this man waste 8 years, 9 years of his career there and still ain't done nothing.
But you know what?
It could be what's
And
in his contract too.
huh?
It could be what's in his contract. See, everybody's contracts is different.
Yeah.
Even coaches. Yeah. I used to
Yeah.
have a friend that worked for the Redskins, and she told me that all of their contracts were different. They got paid differently,
Of course.
they had all kinds of things written into their contract. Each and every one of them had something different. So
Of
they had to
course.
get one person per player to run their payrolls because of that.
Yeah, of
Because
course.
their payrolls were so different. They weren't the same. And they
Right.
couldn't justify just running one payroll just for the whole team. They had to do a payroll for each player.
Yeah. Yeah, because a rookie make less than what a veteran will make. So
Yep.
yeah, that's understandable.
Hmm.
That's
So the
understandable.
coaches are the same way. Their contracts are written up differently too. It may have something in his contract that said, "Oh, you can't fire me for 20 years, no matter what I do."
No, I get
Wow.
that. I get that. That's like Mike Tomlin. Mike Tomlin, that's like Pittsburgh.
Oh no, that's an organizational move. The Pittsburgh Steelers are one of the few teams that changed their coaches. If you go
Right.
back, they only had four coaches
Right.
in 40, 50 years.
But do
They
you know? But
team, but in
but do
essence, the players. How can I break this down? Because I'm only going to put it this way. Because will I have to go with what you said? The current time we're in the football, but when I started paying attention to football, you drafted a college kid after he completed 4 to 5 years of his higher education. Then he was on the bench for 4 to 5 years to study the system. Then he got his start. The last time that I think that kind of took place was Steve Young after he relieved Montana. Then it began to change because they say, wait a minute. And during that time frame, you had a two-back offense and the two back off running backs, the two running back were good, a halfback and a fullback. You don't even see that in
How you doing?
today.
All
So
right.
therefore, you put that salary into one. And I'm gonna bring you up to kickoffs. They cut down the kickoffs, but they threw in concussions to say, "Oh, we can't hold it." But no, we don't want these guys running back the game. You got to find ways to bring excitement back in and keep subjects going. But the whole gamut of the game matter is they've changed the history of the game to make it more exciting, more profitable. So as you, Mike, as you're speaking of the Ravens organization, they had to go in a different direction because Ozzie Newsome was one of the top general managers in the league that everybody loved. The owners love Mike Tomlin because he's a no nonsense guy. You come here to play. That's why Aaron Rodgers ain't starting no mess there in Pittsburgh. See, it's a lot of things that you have to look at that organization has involvement in that keeps things steady. And Jerry Jones is one of the few that want to be
wh-
seen and heard.
why haven't question? Why
Yes.
haven't Bill Cowher got a job yet?
Bill who?
Bill Cowher. Why haven't Bill Cowher got a job yet?
That
Because he's retired. He's making money up up in the booth.
No, no,
He
no,
don't,
no, 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 no.
you said
Let's
Coward?
let's let's look at the real. If somebody offer him more money than he makes to come back, why? What is the repercussions if he comes back as a coach?
Yeah.
What is
One,
it?
it depends on whether he really wants to come back. Now I don't know what the comments have been because I haven't really focused in. But I remember he was asked last year. He said, "Oh, I like it here." Then when the word got out that Jimmy Johnson was retiring, that's more money in their pocket. They got to get somebody to come in at a lower salary to be a analyst on the show. But I don't think a lot of these older coaches that have been successful cannot deal or relate to the younger players. That's something that a lot of people are missing. You're dealing with kids, 20 something, 20-year olds, 18, those that just come out of high school. There are a couple of players, man, they have the ability, but the coaches can't relate to them. And then you got
No.
the younger
The,
players wanting to be seen more so than playing. That's why the Ravens did what they did in the locker room. A lot of
so
little things that's coming out. Take it from there, Will.
so
Okay. As far
to
as the locker room thing, that was a Lamar thing. I heard a comment on the podcast of Ancho when he asked Ronnie Stanley about that, who took the ping pong tables and stuff out of the locker room. He was saying that he saw Lamar talk to the equipment manager, and they come in Monday,
and Monday
it's all it's
is all
gone.
is gone.
So that was a
So that
Lamar
was a
thing.
Lamar thing. Yeah, well, I'm going back to basically the question that I asked of, and we were talking about Mike Tomlin and everything, and Bill Cowher. So, and this goes to the coaching thing of what y'all was talking about the 20 years and all this.
Hmm.
Bill Cowher has a clause in his contract that says if you're retired, you
Stop.
you can stay retired or you can get back into coaching. Okay. Dan Snyder tried to pursue him to come back to coach. The issue with that, with him coming back to coach, is no matter where he goes, Pittsburgh gets 2 first-round draft choices.
oh
I
my
haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, it's in his contract that since he's retired, if he comes back to coaching, because he's still technically under contract with Pittsburgh. Okay, if he comes back into coaching, Pittsburgh gets 2 first-round draft picks. So when Mike Tomlin retires, if Mike Tomlin comes out of retirement and go anywhere else, they will have to give Pittsburgh 2 first-round draft choices.
Well, they ain't
Pittsburgh
gonna.
writes an Pittsburgh writes an ironclad contract that states my coaches ain't going nowhere.
Well, you gotta pull that contract up for me.
Yeah,
I hear you. I
that,
hear you, but I don't. I hear you, but I
why
just.
Bill Cowher. That is why Bill Cowher has not came back to coach.
One of the many reasons, not the reason, but one of many. But that's the
Right.
one that gets everybody's attention. That's the one that becomes the top conversation. That's why I was going back earlier about whatever Stephen A. had said or comment on. It brings in revenue. It brings in interviews. It's making money. Bottom line, they're
Yeah,
making money.
they all making
So
money.
if I can say something outrageous, if I do something to get more attention to my team, to my teammate, that's what I'm going to do.
Yeah.
And
Oh,
because you got to look at the times we're in at this moment where people are losing, and I have to throw this in there because we currently have this guy in the leadership role making statements on social media. He won't come out and talk to the public like his position is supposed to be. You're supposed to talk to the American people, not social media throwing statements out there. So if you have a coach that's in your face and you can't take it as nothing, or you feel like you've been beaten down and you're not qualified enough, but yet the owner has your back, such as Snyder to RG3, you comfortable till they find out a way to get you a place. History has
Uh,
proven a lot of your questions, Mike. Research.
we'll see. All right, and I guess I want to get into the next segment, and we're going into week 9, and I still want to get into the thing of what this weekend is. Well, basically, the slate of games for this weekend. We're gonna get into our picks and everything else. But again, and as I said earlier when I started the show off, I want to welcome all the Seattle Seahawks fans and give them their just due and their due diligence. Welcome to DC. Super Bowl era night, Sunday night on NBC, the Seahawks and the Washington Commanders.
Woo! So happy
JD
to get
JD5 is back, and like I said, we want to welcome Seattle to DC. Hopefully Superman put his cape on.
I'm sorry, but Superman gonna get his cape clipped.
Hopefully Superman put his cape on and handle his business.
They gonna
But
have that kryptonite.
I
I
the
I
thing
can't pick out no more.
the thing I'm looking at is this, and I'm looking at the fact that Sam Donald is playing good ball. He ain't been pressured yet. If
Oh,
you don't pressure Sam Donald, he will pick you apart. But
hey, Mike, can I cut you off real quick?
go ahead.
Sam Donald, didn't they play Minnesota?
Yeah.
And what's the pressures that Minnesota bring? What's the percentage of pressures?
Brian Flores, what is about 50, 60%?
56% pressure.
Right, right.
So you saying that the man has not been pressured? He has.
How many sacks did they get on him in that Minnesota game?
One.
Again, He wasn't pressured.
Like,
Okay.
I'm gonna say this to you.
The
They they call it. I'm gonna say this to you.
Me.
Don't think y'all can't. Y'all don't have that guy to bring pressure.
it ain't it ain't it ain't the guy that brings the pressure. Okay. You can rush in 4, you can rush in 5, you can rush in 6, you can rush in 8. The thing about it is, and like I said, Sam Donald
He,
ain't been pressured. The
Mike,
thing that's
I'm
helped
trying to tell you, Brian Flores' defense does bring the pressure, but they just could not get to him because of the offensive line that Seattle has. And y'all are still light in the
bing,
red. Come on, man.
bingo, bingo,
You know what? This I'm
bingo.
gonna say this to you. And I always say this: see stuff for what it is, not for what you want it to be.
No, I'm seeing it for what it is, and
I doubt it very
and,
seriously. If you
and
see it for what it is, then understand Don has been pressured by Flores.
that's only
Flores,
one game. That was only one game. Look at their record and look at the games that he done played. He ain't been pressured like that. They're to the person that is manhandling, that is taking over the games for them is Jackson Smith and Digma. If they and that's their only that's really their only weapon because
who
Cooper
have y'all
Cup
pressured? Who have y'all pressured?
again. Let me
Who
get
have
into
who have y'all pressured? Is the question.
whoever pressured.
Yes.
Pressured
What
anybody. They
what
so high
what
on
quarterback has y'all?
What
Skinny
quarterback?
leg.
What?
they so y'all so high, Mike. You so high in the on JD5 skinny legs. Because
No,
when
I,
y'all
I, I, I ain't that. I'm just saying that Sam Darnold has not been pressured. And Will, to answer your
that
question,
means their offensive line, Seattle has a good offensive line. And you
there
can
Yes.
tell
you go. Seattle does have a good offensive line. Now, Will, to answer
your
your question, the
line is
first half, the first half of the Kansas City game, Wishakarta was running all over the place because he was being pressured so much.
Who?
It was the second Patrick
Darn.
Mahomes. It was the
Okay.
second half. It was the second half where they was getting where one he threw one pass where he was over the line of scrimmage. It didn't get called.
Hey, Mike, y'all 3-4 for a reason, right, buddy?
Okay, but yeah, injuries. Should we go there?
yeah, that's
The
where you go.
same, the same, the
Saying the
same
fact
way, the same way, the same way, the same way. Y'all are 3-5. Why? Injuries.
Okay.
Okay, thank you. So again,
Stop
don't
making excuses.
don't throw stones at a glass house because I can throw them back. but
Well,
No
I'm about to throw.
excuses this season,
but
remember?
no, it's no excuses. They've been outplayed. They've been outplayed, and the thing is, as some people say, the tape is out because you got a lot of older guys that they know how to beat them older guys. The
Yeah,
point
they
I
do.
was trying the point I was trying to make is, and I wasn't dogging Seattle. Seattle has a good team. Seattle also has a good, what can I say? They have a good offensive line.
Oh,
They got a good defense. They got a good head coach. And the Ravens' old head coach, Mike McDonald. They have a hell of a wide receiver in Jackson Smith and Digman. But they don't have their run game is okay. It's suspect. The
so
point I'm the point I'm trying to make is this.
I'm
Okay.
listening.
Okay.
Mhm.
You don't gotta really pressure Sam Donald. If you get the man over the top and you double team Jackson Smith, and that's Seattle's game. They're done.
No, they're not.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
Because Cooper Cup ain't that good.
No, they're not.
Who do they have on offense besides Jackson Smith?
They got that running back Charbonnet.
Yeah, and Charbonnet has how many 100-yard games?
They got the boy Walker. Take him. They got the boy
And
Walker.
Walker has how many 100-yard games? This is what they
It,
was talking about
it
on the
doesn't.
NFL Network. Their running game isn't as strong as their passing game. The reason why their passing game is so strong is a lot of people is thinking of Cooper Cup from when Cooper Cup was in LA. They're thinking of Cooper Cup as being the same Cooper Cup that was with the Rams. So basically, you're not going to double team Jackson Smith. And that's why he's running the routes that he's running. Plus, he's an Ohio State product. So that tells
Hey,
you enough.
who was that? Who was that receiving core?
Who's the receiving core?
Yeah, I just don't want you to get lost in just one person.
Who is
Don't
their
get
receiving core?
don't get lost in Jackson
Time out.
Smith and Diggle. You tell me that I'm driving. I can't.
Their receiving core is Jackson Smith and Cooper Cup. That's their receiving
And
core.
who else?
They
They
ain't
only
talk, they
had
ain't been talking. They ain't been talking about their slot.
11-2 is
okay. So the
They only
point
been
that I'm
them two.
okay. So let's go to Green Bay. Who do you worry about in Green Bay?
Oh, Green Bay, you got to worry about all their receivers, even the ones on the bench. You even got to worry about
Okay,
the ones. You even got to worry about the ones that aren't dressed or activated. So that's what you
right.
got to worry about in
So
Green Bay.
so
So we're talking
In
play
Seattle,
that deep.
you got those receivers that you don't hear about, but they're there to make plays. It only takes only takes one or two players to make a play to make a difference in a game. So you can never sleep on one. You can't sleep on nobody. 'Cause everybody gets paid to make plays. If you can't make a play, you're in the wrong. You're in the wrong. You're not supposed to be there. But everybody gets paid to do something.
Yeah,
I don't care if you make one catch for 1 yard, long as it's a touchdown, long as it's a first down. You, everybody get paid to do something.
So
So
their
don't.
starting receiving core is Jackson Smith and Digma and Drake Young. And then their other receivers include Cooper Cup, Jake Bambo, Cody White, and Troy Troy Horton. So again, Jackson Smith is their biggest threat. Okay. Now,
Okay, I guess okay, that's fine, but I guess Green Bay proved the point that you don't need one superstar receiver. You get good receivers who can catch the ball and make plays count.
again, I'm not knocking Seattle.
So
Seattle
so
only has that one.
okay,
What's your point, Mike?
Seattle has
okay.
that one. If
I'm
you double team, if you take that one
so
out with okay, and I'm gonna get deeper into it. So their interior offensive line is their biggest
I
weakness on
kind of
their
feel like you
roster.
just
Okay,
I think you just dismissed my point
they're
there.
that's your point. I'm just letting it be known that
I'm
they're not deep at wide receivers like that. To me, to me,
I'm
to
just saying.
me, they're y'all.
You know what?
But the
Okay, Mike.
Jazz
Let me
got a
say
better
this to you.
coach.
Excuse excuse me. I'm gonna say this. Y'all better not lay an egg. Y'all better show up and show out. If Seattle comes in there and whop y'all asses, don't say nothing to me on next Saturday's podcast at 10 or 1 or 4 or 5. Don't say nothing.
Let me tell you right now.
Okay? I'm serious. I'm dead serious.
All the
Because
hostility. All I'm just saying is, I'm telling this. Hey, I'm just telling it like it is. Is so much hostility. So hostility.
real yeah.
Where's your commanders rated on defense? Are they in the 20s?
They tough. They're 15.
15? Ah, and your defensive backs are just a tier above my defensive backs that don't have the experience. And your defensive backs have some experience, but they get beat every time
every time.
going down
Well,
the field. And
if you notice, teams concentrate on one side of the field, and that's why.
I
Yeah.
said your defensive
Right.
backs,
And that's why I
but that's
said
okay.
if they get help over the top, given the fact that Seattle has their one receiver, you can beat the Seahawks if you double team Jackson Smith and you bring the pressure because their interior line is their weakness. If you bring the pressure to Sam Donald and you double team Jackson
Okay.
Smith, you can beat
That
Seattle.
goes for any team. That goes for any team, and their defensive setup goes back to the defensive coaching staff that makes changes. That's why Kansas City has been so successful because man got me all riled up with Kansas City.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Andy Reid, when halftime, they come back out and they make adjustments. You all don't make adjustments.
No, everybody makes adjustments, but what Andy Reid,
past skinny legs getting hurt. Y'all last two games,
everybody, everybody,
the players
every
did
team,
not step.
every team makes adjustments. Even at halftime, every team makes adjustments. Which we call it thing.
Command.
No, listen. And who was it that said it? Great. The old receiver for the Green Bay Packers, Jones. He said it perfectly. He said what Kansas City does is Kansas City plays actual football the first half. He said when they go into halftime, they just come out and start playing street ball. They don't call plays. They just tell their receivers to get open. And then if they don't get open, what they do is they rely on the 12th man, which is the referees. So they do. Jones, that's hey look, hey look, hey look. I hate to say, but that's what Jones said. Hey, I'm just telling like it is.
You said don't.
But
You said don't shoot the messenger.
right, don't shoot the messenger because the thing is, it's true. If you looked at when they played Baltimore and the AFC Championship game, they was getting flags. They was getting stuff called. Baltimore was getting stuff called on them that wasn't even there. Baltimore had a holding call on them, and the man ain't even hold. So you got to beat Kansas City, but you also got to beat their 12th man, which is the referees.
Throw that in there.
The 12 man is fans.
No, not in Kansas City. They're the 13th man.
So
So where does the gambling fit in?
That's where with them it really doesn't because they got the referees in their pockets. It really doesn't with
That's
them.
part of game.
That's gambling.
It really doesn't with them. Their 12th man is in their pocket.
The last 3 weeks, you've had visiting teams winning. You had a couple of upsets in there, last minute upsets. Then you had the majority of the home teams that were winning because they were losing. And then the week that they were losing at home. And then you had a couple of close games, which we kind of, can go either way. But it comes back down to those last 3 minutes of the game. If that game ain't won, then it's a point spread adjustment.
Do me a favor.
Come out and say it.
Do me a favor. Go back and watch Kansas City, their home games, okay? From this year. Go back and watch their home games. When you watch
Your team gets
No, listen.
I've seen your
Listen.
Cheated.
No,
So it goes.
when you watch their home games, okay? Tell me something that you're going to see each home game. You're going to see the same referees that refereed the same home game either 2 weeks ago, this particular week. That's how that works. They got the same referees that works their games every other week.
If that's their request, if that's where the referees are rated, and if that particular team and game is scheduled to be on prime time, you're going to put the best on.
They're not the
That's
best.
always-
The best receiver,
That's all
the
right.
best referee.
But all the teams,
Seattle fly all over y'all.
all the teams are doing it then.
Well, I ain't gonna say.
Well,
I ain't gonna say all the teams are doing it, but Kansas City is everybody knows that. Everybody knows that.
I know.
Everybody knows
Why
that.
are you so?
Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that. Everybody knows that KC got the.
Everybody.
Hey, even Will tell you that. Will,
what?
Y'all said
the city got the referees in their pockets.
Oh, hold on.
They
Yeah, that
all-
seems. I mean, home teams. They all got them. Home team, but Kansas City's more blatant with theirs. I mean,
It's
it re-
possible. It's possible because right now, if you listen to the media in the sports arena, Kansas City is almost has taken over where Dallas has been
Used to
trying
be,
to be,
yeah, used to
because
be,
they
yeah.
are the team that everybody wants to emulate and
Yep,
beat.
yep.
So that's why you get that publicity. Andy Reid, his staff, they make adjustments. They go out and draft the right players. They get the free agents that fit what they're looking for.
No.
Every team has
Where
their
you going to,
profile.
man?
I gotta agree to disagree.
He direct you there?
I gotta
That's fine.
yeah, I gotta agree to disagree. Cause that to me can't can't
Right
Kansas
now?
City been to 6 straight Super Bowls, 6 consecutive Super
Because they're
Bowls.
on they
They're
are
a good team.
they are a team. Everybody's you're missing the
You
concept of
gotta have
team.
that team spirit. You gotta have that team camaraderie. You gotta have it just fits. You gotta have the players that fit together.
One is no better than the other. That's why they're successful.
All
Yep.
right, well,
Everybody else
we're
beat them.
we're getting low on time. So now we're getting into the best time of the day, which is our picks. And I'm gonna go ahead and start with Will. Will, I think I got your picks, but we can say it on the podcast. I'm gonna start with the first game: Cincinnati against Chicago. Who you got?
I gave you my picks, didn't I?
Yeah, but we standing. I'm on the podcast. Everybody got to hear it.
I think I said Chicago, I
You got
think.
Chicago. Okay. Detroit against Minnesota.
I, I think I don't remember. I picked Detroit.
Okay. Green.
Or what I have on there?
I'm not even looking at it right now. I'll let you know. Green Bay against Carolina. That's a tough one for you. Green Bay against Carolina.
I said Green Bay.
Okay. Denver against Houston.
I picked Denver.
New England against Atlanta.
I believe I picked New England.
49ers against the Giants.
The Niners.
Pittsburgh, the Colts against the Steelers.
I picked the Colts.
They'd be 8-1. That's crazy. The Chargers against the Titans.
Chargers.
The Rams against New Orleans.
Rams.
Jacksonville against the Raiders.
I picked. I think I picked Jacksonville for that one.
Kansas City against Buffalo.
Whew. Jeez. I don't like neither one of them, tell you the truth.
I know you don't.
But I want the lesser of two evils. I picked Kansas City.
Okay. And you picking Seattle over Washington. Ar-
Absolutely.
Arizona against Dallas.
Mm. I think I went with Dallas on this one.
Now remember, Kyler Murray's not playing.
Who's the backup?
Jacoby Brissett.
I went with Dallas for this anyway.
Okay. All right. And then I'm gonna go with. Then I see who they. I'm going with Collins and Belinda's picks, and their week 9 picks are very similar but different. So they picked the Ravens, which both of them got right. They picking the 49ers over the Giants. Collins is picking the Chargers over the Titans, and Belinda's picking the Titans over the Chargers. They're both picking the Lions. They're both picking the Patriots. They're both picking the Colts. Collins is picking Tennessee, and Belinda is picking the Broncos over.
Texas.
Yeah, my fault. You picking Houston. She's picking Denver. I think she's going to win that one. Hands down. The both of them is picking the Bengals over the Bears. That's interesting. That's a good one. The both of them is picking the Vikings. Both of them is picking the Rams. They're both picking the Raiders over Jacksonville. Oh man, boy, whew, that's scary. they both picking the they both picking the Chiefs over the Bills. They both picking the Seahawks over the Commanders, and they both picking the Carolina. They're both picking the Cowboys over the Cardinals. Now, the the MVP pick, my picks. I'm picking Cincinnati over the Bears. I'm gonna pick Detroit over Minnesota. I'm taking Green Bay over Carolina. I'm taking Denver over Houston. I'm taking
See?
Atlanta. I'm taking New England over Atlanta. I'm taking the 49ers over the Giants. I'm taking
Okay.
the Colts
Okay.
over the Steelers. I'm taking the Chargers over the Titans. I'm taking the Rams over New Orleans. I'm taking Jacksonville over the Raiders. I can't roll with the Raiders right now. I'm just Lord. The Raiders scare me. They scare me.
I'm loyal to my losing team because I know we don't have a chance, but we'll get one in there.
Now, this is where it gets interesting at.
It's like
Everybody everybody's going with the Chiefs over the Bills. I'm going with Buffalo.
You going with
I'm going with
Buffalo?
Buffalo. I'm gonna be as they
the
say,
left light.
I'm gonna be the lone wolf. I'm going with Buffalo.
You're gonna be defiant.
Yeah, I'm gonna be defined. I'm going with Buffalo.
Okay.
Yeah.
I got Josh Allen throwing two picks
Okay.
and a
I
fumble.
got I got Patrick Mahomes doing just what he did last week, throwing 2 picks.
But he knew he was playing that he was playing a team that couldn't really
Okay.
capitalize.
But
Because Marcus Mariota was
yeah,
just
that's
a
true. That's
wash.
true. The other one, because of the fact number 81 is getting his jersey retired, I'm gonna go with Washington over Seattle. And it ain't because of the fact that's my team. It's because of the fact, as Colin said earlier, about the Jets. When the Mango thing happened and all of that, Art Monk is getting his jersey retired that same night. So with and then they don't and then they're wearing their Super Bowl jerseys, their Super Bowl era jerseys on the same night that Whisper Call is getting his jersey retired. Now the game,
I'm
the Art Monk is getting his jersey retired. So it's going to be a lot of, and then it's just amazing how Jaden comes back that same night. But now the other game, that the Monday night game, I want to go with Dallas.
you know
I want to go with Dallas on that Monday night game, but something's telling me Jacoby Brissett is going to play lights out. But
you know
again,
what works me over with y'all?
but again, I'm gonna roll with Dallas on this one. But I think Jacoby Brissett is going to come back and win. But
Well, you
Let me
can't
tell you
roll,
what.
can't roll with it.
I'm gonna go with Dallas on it because Dallas is playing in Dallas. That's the only reason why I'm going with Dallas on that one. If they was playing in
Exactly.
Arizona, that would have been something different. But Dallas is going with, and Jerry Jones know how to press that button until the referees, the money just went into their account.
Oh, stop. You need to stop.
Mike, who
Well,
did
yeah,
you pick? Bears over the Bengals and the Packers over the
No, I
Panthers?
picked the Packers over the Panthers, but I picked Cincinnati over the Bears.
Okay. And you got the
yeah.
I
Patriots?
got the Patriots. Yeah,
Okay. I just wanted to
yeah,
recap what you had.
yeah. I think
Let me throw this in for my team right quick. Ben Davis's mother passed last week. So I look for an
It's not bad,
organization
right? I'm fortunate side.
who
with the
passed.
Raiders on the end. Yeah, she before game time also this week. So I look for some changes in our organization, and I think Brady and Pete Carroll are going to sit back and reevaluate because this is what I'm saying about organizations. When you have a tenure for as long as you had Spirit and the Raiders, sometimes you need a big change. And I wanted to also throw in like when the players are making more than the coaches decide to come out the box and say, "Hey, we're coaching these guys. Why can't we get paid?" So that's how you've got the trend of all of these coaches in all sports getting longer years to coach. They want to hold on to their jobs, win or lose. And like my wife said earlier, it's what's written in the contract. And most of us are not privy to that type of information.
Yeah. All right. Well, like I said, it's been good. We got our picks. Hope y'all enjoy y'all weekend and enjoy y'all games tomorrow. And again, to our Seattle Seahawks fans that's in town and everybody else, we hope y'all have fun and enjoy. But we want to welcome y'all to DC.
Alrighty.
And remember, next week the game ain't the
You got a bathroom here?
next week the podcast isn't going to be on Saturday. It's going to be on Sunday.
All right, there we go.
Usually,
It's going to be live.
somebody had to
We're
go.
going to be live Sunday because I'm going to be at the Detroit game.
All right.
Yeah. So
Well, hope you have a good reception.
so so next week we're going to go on at like because the game at 4:25 probably going around like 3:30 live from Northwest Stadium.
All right.
So catch y'all next Sunday night. It will catch y'all next Sunday afternoon. So y'all enjoy the rest of y'all afternoon and the rest of y'all day. And to all the fans out there, everybody that's been listening, appreciate y'all. We appreciate everything that y'all do and everything. And y'all the reason why that we're getting more and more listeners and visitors and everything else. Enjoy. Y'all have a great weekend.
Don't
Yeehaw!
be cute.
Delaware State and Norfolk game.
Oh yeah, don't forget to support Michael Vick and Deshaun Jackson.
Deshaun. Yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
All right.
All right.
All
Hey,
right. See y'all. Good show.
hey, yes, yeah, later.
Bye.
Uh, hey, Mike. Yeah, just don't be cute on offense.
They got to stop. I keep offering. Some of them that way.
And this. Let me publish this. Let me publish this.